Hello, my name is Nicole, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I titled this message, Tough Time with That New Wife, New Mother. Tough time with that new wife, new mother. Yes, there are some men that are going through some tough times with their new spouse, with their mother of a child or children. This message is for those men who can't talk to the mother-in-law, can't talk to their own mother, because their own mother would say, I told you not to marry her. I told you not to have children with her. Can't talk to anyone at work because, well, really, do you want to have that conversation with a bunch of your coworkers who are simply going to take your information and share it with others? So these are men who are looking for just a bit of wisdom, some encouragement, some understanding, some validation on some issues that they're going through with this new wife, new mother. When you are that person who has made the decision to get involved with another person, you know that you are getting not involved with just them, but with everything associated with them. The relationship is going to change. What was simple and sweet and loving and kind and all of that in the beginning will change due to the challenges, the disappointments, the confusion, the misunderstandings. I know we don't like to think that way, but it happens. A new wife is going to come with her share of insecurities, because if you have talked about everybody else that you were involved with, she feels an obligation to be better than those that have come before her. She feels the brunt work, the responsibilities. If you bring children into the relationship, oh, she's got to welcome them as well. And after a while, she's going to feel a bit overwhelmed with it all, especially if you're not one who compliments, who encourages her, who makes life a little easier for her. Household tools are real good around this holiday season for a number of reasons. Anything that's going to make her household responsibilities a little bit easier, and you know her well, you know she's been talking about certain tools, it would make sense to get them, right? But you also want to have that romantic gift too, that one that says this is all you and it's not about the household, right? The new wife is trying to be all things to you, even though you said, babe, you don't need to be all of that. You don't need to do all of that. But she has a drive within her, motivated by everything you ever said, everything that you ever did. I am going to try my hardest. And if she's had bad experiences with others and she looks at you as being a gem, she's really going to try hard to make things happen. Get out the way a bit. Let her go ahead and do some things that are beneficial, that are not upsetting, of course. And if they are, you would want to sit down and communicate with her. You definitely wouldn't want to ignore her. You can turn off the TV, turn off the electronics, and have the heart to heart. Even if you're going to get yelled at, even if you know how she is, it makes sense to do these sorts of things, because in time she's going to come to you wanting some feedback. The new wife is also trying to prove her parents wrong, just as you may be trying to prove your parents wrong. She is right for me, you may say to your parents. She may have already said that to her dad, but her dad is still raising the eyebrow, scratching his chin and saying, I don't know about this. But Dad, he really is. I don't know about this. So everybody is trying to prove a point if they are that close to their parents. If they're not, then no, they could care less about what the relatives think. Because at the end of the day, as somebody said some years back, it's me and you, babe. It's me and you against the world. But is it? No, you learn that it's not. Because sometimes she doesn't want to be about me and you, babe. Sometimes she doesn't want to be about me and you against the world. If anything, I want the support around me. I want to know that it's okay and all right to step outside and away from you at times. And we're not talking about adultery, cheating, but just, this is my space. This is what I like to do. This is what gives me peace. And you, as the husband, should be encouraging her to do the types of things that are going to bring a smile on her face. As one title of a book said, Happy Wife, Happy Life. If it's something that's outright disrespectful, you know that as a believer, it's going against Christian precepts or what have you, then yes, you're going to want to bring these things to her attention. But if she simply wants to get out and about and go shopping or take up a new job or travel somewhere, and you know that you don't want to do those things, don't be the manipulative one to try to keep her from doing those things. And you got some who do that, and so that's why they're called controlling. I don't need you to control where I'm going, who I'm going with. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not hurting you. I told you that repeatedly. I'm not doing the types of things that's going to put me in hot water. So please. But if she is, then yes, as her husband, you've got to address these issues. Drinking too much? Definitely. Using some type of drug? Definitely. You got to speak up. And yes, of course, she might cuss and fuss and act up and make false accusations, but that's where you might end up saying, well, mom or dad was right. Maybe she wasn't the one. Because a person who truly loves you is going to do what's best for the relationship, what's best for the children. Now, the new mother's going through her share of difficulties. She's going through her share because, number one, her body is changing or has changed, and now she's trying to get it back to the way it used to be, which you never do. Every mother will tell you that your body is never the same like it was prior to giving birth. Okay, whether it was a C-section or a vaginal, it may look, for some women, it may look like it used to be, but it doesn't feel in the way it used to be. She's got some instinct that showed up as a result of bringing children into the world. She's got new responsibilities. Her outgoing, fun mindset may have simmered a bit. She is looking at you and seeing where you're going to be supportive. Are you going to be the man that's going to be there for us? If you're not, you can go, because I've got enough responsibility dealing with the children. Some men have heard that. Some men have seen the distance, because she did not want another child, so to speak. She wanted a man that was going to take the children out and give her a reprieve every now and again. A man that was going to put the children in various activities, be a counselor, be a father, be the type of role model, mentor that he has been called to be. She does not want to police him. She doesn't want to keep talking to him about everything that he should do or shouldn't do. But she will, though, if she doesn't see any results. And this is where some men get very frustrated. I'm tired of her coming to me with all of this. Well, you see, it's going to happen sooner or later in this relationship. And you're going to like some things and you're going to dislike some things. But that doesn't mean that you should dislike her. And we got some men who, every time somebody brings something to their attention, they dislike everybody, everything. And that's not any way to be in a relationship. I have an audio for those individuals who are not called to be married and not called to have children. And yes, they are out here. They are works in progress. They even know themselves that they are not called to be any of those things. It's unfortunate some men learn this, as well as women, once they get married, once they have children. I'm not cut out for this. Some folks, they realize it, but hey, I'm going to roll with the punches. I'm going to work hard anyway. I'm going to accept my responsibilities. For me, that's what I did. When Mothers Cry, there was a lot of crying going on in that book. All sorts of issues that arise when mothers cry. It's a book for men as well, for them to understand the mindset of a mother and the types of challenges that she's going through. The type of challenges that just might either make or break your current relationship. So do get the book, When Mothers Cry. Whether she is a mother yet or not, the point is that you know that in order for the relationship to work, you just simply have to be that one that listens and confirm what she says and then do. If you can be that guy, you're ahead of the game. If you can be that guy that isn't yelling, isn't arguing and being intimidating, threatening, or even physically abusive, you are also way ahead of the game, because we have a lot of men who, even though they look nice and even though they appear sweet, and you may even know some, those socially sweet, privately cruel, abusive men are very much among us. And she is talking to girlfriends, possibly relatives who are in those relationships or just got out of them. But what they say, what they've gone through, what they've done shouldn't have any bearing on your current relationship, but just might, depending on how close she is. And then you as the man will have to keep reminding her, that's not me. I love you and I'm here for you, and I'm sorry your sister, your brother, your cousin, whoever is going through, but that's not me. And please, please don't compare me to those people. I haven't cheated on you and I don't plan on cheating on you. You know where I'm at. You know what I'm doing. So please, please don't do that. And you might have to repeatedly do this, and you may have to make her feel some kind of way, most likely positive, of course, so that she will know that it's okay and all right between you all. The man who doesn't bother to encourage, comfort, validate, listen, he's the one that has the problems in the relationship. He's the one that he's not going to tell his boys or his father or mother, or anybody else, the truth. And those men are the ones that you'll have to keep your distance from as well. Because these are the men that they don't mind talking selfish, acting selfish. And if you were to live with them a while, you would see just how selfish they really are. And it isn't any wonder why the wife treats them in the way that she does, you see. So you will have to make sure that you are careful around those sorts of men, and that you are letting your wife know that you don't follow suit with those negative influences, and that you are your own man. And you will have to be very selective of the company that you keep. One particular individual told me that her boyfriend has a friend who he likes to drink with. He's okay and all right when they're not heavily drinking, but this friend likes to encourage him to drink heavily, and so it alters his personality. And others have said that he becomes very angry. Of course, she didn't reveal that to me, but others around her said yes, and he's very angry when he drinks. Now, if you are that guy and you know that you have been told about your anger issues when you drink or when you get around certain people, it would make sense to not do these things. That way it eliminates the arguing, right? And besides, you don't want your children or future children to see you being that guy. There are plenty of folks who have come through this channel as well as other channels talking about what they grew up with. The angry father, the difficult father, the upset father. And I talk about these sorts of things and say goodbye to dad. And that might be the motivation for some of these men, as well as yourself, to stay out of the hot kitchen. Dad was a womanizer. I'm not going to be that to my wife. Dad was a drunk. I'm not going to be abusing my children and my wife. Dad was this and dad was that. Gambling all the money, and we didn't know if the rent was going to get paid. All of those negative things that one has experienced is actually motivators to get you to do what is right. I know a lot of times we talk about woe is me and how wrong this one and that one treated us, but God will take a situation and he will turn it around in such a way so that you won't do what others have done. I hope that some of you all will recognize that sort of thing. You don't need any more drama or trauma in your relationship. The woman is already going through much, having to adjust to being a wife. She's going through much, having to adjust being a mother. She may smile at you and tell you that everything is okay and all right. But as a man, you have to be the discerning one to see when your wife or the mother of your children is falling apart. You have to be the one to have that nice, respectful, quiet voice that says, it's time for us to get some help, or it's time for you to slow down, or you may need to step it up, because you do have some women who they just don't want to do what they need to do in their roles because of past experiences, and maybe you might have to have that conversation. I know your mother tended not to wash clothes or make sure the household was organized, but you know that you're not your mother, and you know that we've got a lot of responsibilities in this household. What do you need me to do to help you make sure that the household is organized, that it is good for both of us? Because I'm doing my part, and I need somebody to help me, and that's part of a relationship, right? And there are those scriptures that talk about this sort of thing, but you're not going to open up the Bible and pull out a bunch of scriptures and tell her all these things. Instead, you're going to take all of what you've learned from that Bible and you're going to pray about it. And then God will, in time, start to deal with her heart on some things. And as God deals with her heart, that is not the time to puff yourself up with pride. I told my son about some things that I went to the Lord about, and one of them was an answer to some concerns I had. And he said that you're not in the women's liberation movement. And I'm not in support of all things dealing with women and what women want and how they want it and everything else, just to summarize. And my son, he perked up, he started smiling. And I said, oh, this is an intimate moment that I wrote about with God. He was telling me that. Not to disempower me, he was telling me that to teach me how to learn to work with men at the workplace, in a future relationship. And there are things that we are just equipped to do that bring about love and nurturing and compassion and just people getting along in the household. And the very things that we fight up against are the very things that will make the relationship strong. The things that women that are a part of the feminist and liberation movement would frown about. A woman who's in a quality, healthy relationship can bring a man a sandwich and not be offended about it. Because that man has treated her quite well, quite respectful. So she don't have a problem getting him a sandwich. You see, a woman who is over her past issues concerning what she went through, what she witnessed her own mother go through, and she's with a quality man, she don't have a problem rubbing his feet. So my son perks up and he's all smiles. So basically, I just got to make sure I'm doing my part. Right. Exactly. You do your part and you can get all of that and then some. But there are those men who, unfortunately, they'll never get the sandwich brought to them. They'll never get their feet rubbed. They'll even struggle with trying to get that woman to help out with household responsibilities, including finances, because simply put, they're not decent men. They're not godly men. They're children of darkness. So check yourself before you check your wife and mother of your children. And be sure that you're doing what is right before you expect her to do what is right. Blessings to you. Please do check the description box for anything that might be of interest. You've been listening to YouTube and Enterprise 7. Feel free to subscribe, like, comment. If you would like to give, because this message has been a blessing to you, then by all means, you're welcome to do so. To God be the glory.